We're going to start this part 3 by reviewing the helper classes. To begin, contextual colors. Contextual colors can be applied to links, to text, paragraphs for examples, and they're used to convey meaning through colors or emphasis with utility classes. So take some time to review them, try it out on some piece of content on your template, and for that you need to go to the CSS page section helper classes. Below, we're going to follow with a demonstration of the contextual backgrounds. Similarly to the contextual text color classes, contextual backgrounds allow to convey meaning through colors and emphasis. So let's go make a demonstration by using an example with our template. We're going to find the H4 of the media object in our template, which is on line 285. And next to the class media heading, you're going to add background icon info. Let's check out now how this looks in the browser by reloading the page. So now we have our heading, the media heading, which has a nice light blue color background. Another example of a helper class is the close icon, which can be used with the example of the model.js, which is a JavaScript plugin. It's like a window popping up to which you can add this close icon to indicate that you can dismiss the model. Then you have the caret, which can be found in navigation bar, so we'll have a chance also to see some examples in the next lectures. So coming next. Then we're going to move to the quick floats, and for that we have two options, pull left and pull right. And we're going to see some example in our demo file just right now. For example, so this button, which is now completely to the left, we're going to move it to the right. So in my source code, so right after the class for the button, I'm going to add pull-right. We're going to save the page and then reload the page again in the browser. Let's see what happens. It works, except that now it overlaps on the next element. And that's because this next element, which is the panel, is trying to pull right with the previous element. So we're going to see how we can remedy that by applying a clear fix. And to apply a clear to a pull, we can use a built-in class with Bootstrap, which is clearfix. So we're going to add a div with a class of clearfix, just like this example. So back to our code. So right after this paragraph and the break tag, we're going to add another div with a class of clearfix. Same, we're going to save and then check out in the browser. So now that looks a little bit better. We can see that the float of right has been cleared on the next panel, although we still have some space that we should add between the two elements. So we're going to add a break tag, just like this one. So I'm going to actually remove this one and add it right after my div, save, then go back to the browser, reload the page, and now this looks much better. Let's see another example. So this time that's going to be with the media object, so this one. We have a picture on the left that I'd like to place on the right. And that's going to be a very easy process because for that we're going to go to the media object section and see here you have a class of pull left that we're going to change to pull right. Save. So now let's check out the change. We're going to reload. And now we have this media which is placed to the right. So this is the pull right. The next example, so the class that follows allows the elements that includes this class, which is center block, to be placed in the middle of the entire width of the same element. In other words, it allows to be placed in the center as the name of the class indicates. So that is center-block. So we're going to see that with an example by going back to the source code. I will copy this class, then paste it in my document. We're going to use the same example that we used earlier to which we had applied the pull right, so we're going to remove that and remove the clear fix as well. And for the button, try now, we're going to change the setting by applying the class of center block. So now we're going to look in the browser, see what happens when we reload the page. So perfect, it worked. So now this button is horizontally centered by setting the right and left margin width to auto. And remember that the center block class needs to be applied to block elements. Bootstrap has also some classes in order to change the alignment of a text, so we're going to see what's available. We have left, center, right, and justify, so we're going to copy one of them and use that as an example on one paragraph. So this one, the first that we have in the second row. We're going to do the same for the other paragraphs. So for example, for the last one, we're going to align the text to the right, and for the one in the middle, we're going to justify the text. So we're going to see how this looks by going back to the browser. First, we're going to save. So here it is. So now we have the first paragraph which is aligned to the left. The one in the middle has a justified text. And on the right, we can see that this is completely flushed to the right. Also, I'd like to use the example of center. So I'm going to change this one from justify to center and see how this looks. Here we go. So now we have a paragraph with centered text. Back to the helper classes, we're going to have a look at the showing and hiding content. So that's pretty straightforward, self-explanatory. So for that, we have two options. It's either show or hidden. Following the same example, we also have the screen reader content, and this can be applied by using the class of sr-only. Concretely, any content with a class of sr-only becomes invisible to any devices, although it can be detected by screen readers. And this class can be used for the benefits of the best practices of accessibility. The difference, although, with this class and the class of hidden, for example, is that when you use a class of hidden, this is going to be completely invisible, including screen readers. So just be careful as to which one you need to use. The last portion of this lecture will be dedicated to responsive utilities. These classes allows a better, faster, mobile-friendly development, and they're tied to media queries, and they're actually designed to show or hide elements depending on the size of the screen. We have the class prefixes of visible and hidden that can be used for each screen size. So we're going to see an example now by using our template. And the power of Bootstrap is that it's really responsive. So whenever we shrink the size of the screen, we'll see that the content and the elements are adjusting, scaling according to the size, so that's pretty good already. However, we may want to remove or hide elements from the page on a smaller dimension, because we know it's not ideal for a mobile user experience like this Jumbotron container. So in the source code, we're going to add a class of hidden-access. And the result is that this container will not show on a smaller dimension. So we're going to reduce the size of the screen, so this container will be hidden as soon as we reach the breaking point of our smaller dimensions, like an iPhone or any mobile phone. So we can see our H1, and then we go straight to the list items. And remember, so the list items were right after this class, this container with the class of Jumbotron. So all this part has been hidden from a mobile screen view. But this container is just invisible for the mobile view only. So we'll see that by going back to the table with the available classes. So here is the one that we used, hidden-access. So it's visible for the small, medium, and large devices. It's hidden just for the extra small devices. That's it for the CSS demonstration and example. So let's move on now to more CSS utilities with the components.